welcome to the Franchise Life. I am your host, Stacy Shannon. Today, I have a brand called GLO30 that we will be highlighting and diving into with the founder, which is my guest, Dr. Lamba. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me, Stacy.
Yes, my pleasure. Okay, so this health and wellness is a segment that I am personally so passionate about because I am a huge consumer of these services. So Glow 30 is all about facials. So why don't you share a little bit about yourself, Dr. Lamba, and how Glow 30 came to be?
Yeah, so basically, I was a person who had a problem that I was really trying hard to find a solution for. And I felt that because I had a medical background, I should, like, if it's hard for someone who has a medical background, can understand the science of what's happening, why is it so hard? And so I started learning about the skin cell cycle, exfoliations, products, ingredients, and I just started playing around with different ideas and making myself like the guinea pig. But when I went out there and said, okay, well, you know what, my there's pollution factor, there's the hard water factor, there's diet factors, there's genetic factors, and then there's the treatments that we do. I also saw problems in the system. One, the treatments were really expensive. Not everybody offered the treatments that maybe I needed or offered too much, where it was like unnecessary for me where I was at, and not really establishing a quarterback for my goals. No one's following through my journey. Everything closed by 5, 6 p.m. or 4 p.m., especially at doctor's offices. And so I couldn't even get a treatment in. I was like this doctor coming out of 7 p.m., 8 p.m. shift. So I was like, I couldn't even get a treatment. Really hard to book because I had to like call everybody. And how am I supposed to call someone if I'm in the hospital? So many like layers of issues that prevented me from just getting like basic, healthy, fun, interactive skincare services. So I moved, I was living in New York at the time, and I moved to Maryland. My husband's from Maryland. I moved to Maryland, and I said to him, you know, I really think my skin had gotten a lot better, but I really feel that other people could benefit from this. And then he asked me, like, well, how do you think people will really come? Like, if you want them to come every 30 days to actually see a difference, like, how are you actually going to do that? Because people don't really buy into that concept. At that time, facials and skincare was very like luxury. It was very like, oh, I'm going to go to the hotels or I'm going to go on a vacation and do it, part of my massage or something like that. And I said, well, if we make it every 30 days, like if it's like a membership, then they can make it affordable. We can give them those treatments. And then on top of it, they'll actually come and then they'll see results and they'll want to stay. Because I knew early on that if it didn't work or it didn't make them feel good or look good, that I couldn't really have them stay in a concept. Look, I wouldn't stay, right? Like if it wasn't working for me. And that's how the membership started of Glow 30, which is your perfect facial every 30 days. It's a flat rate of $89. And in that, they get the type of exfoliations without upcharges or upsells and a beautiful curated monthly treatment. So that doesn't mean they're paying extra for like micro dermabrasion. They're not paying extra for certain peels. They're not paying extra for LED lights. They're not paying extra for like specific massages. They're all techniques scientifically designed every month to optimize their skin for that month. And that's how we came about.
So, Dr. Lamba, you are an anesthesiologist turned franchise Zor now
Yeah.
with Glow 30. So let me ask you this question, because you threw out a lot of terms I'm very familiar with, microderms, peels, facials, all that. But you have specifically chosen, even with your medical background, you've specifically chosen to be non-invasive in your treatments. So why is that?
That's a great question. I think that the first thing is that what I call the base layer, which is that, a lot of people in skincare, in beauty, in a lot of I would say industries specifically targeted towards women, sell a lot of lotions and potions and miracle treatments, and one does it all one time. This one laser, this one thing is all you need. And actually, what I would say is the basis of everything I did was based on what I learned and what I know does work, and that's consistency. And consistency and decreasing inflammatory processes and inflammation in the skin. Your body, your organs, skin being the largest, everything is about the inflammatory process in your skin. And that requires a consistent, basic level of treatment that are focused and targeted and curated, but they don't have to injure your skin. They don't have to be extremes. They have to be something that the consumer can keep up and do. The damage that occurs to your skin in 30 days, it has to be rectified, but it doesn't need to be rectified with this one laser or this one treatment and one size does it all for everybody, because everyone is different. So I prefer non-invasive treatments because it allows consistency. It allows safety, because something some people don't understand is that certain treatments that are invasive affect different skin types in different ways. And I wanted to create a center where I always call it skincare for the rest of us, where everybody could go, whether you are a grandmother or a 17-year-old, or you have a light complexion, a medium complexion, a dark complexion, whether you are someone who is new to skincare, whether you are someone who is really experienced in skincare. It's a basic but very curated scientific level of doing monthly treatments, kind of like when someone says, oh, I brush my teeth every day, I floss every day. And so skincare also requires that, especially in today's world with technology and phones and stress and pollution and environmental changes. What are you doing on a professional level of skincare every 30 days for your skin? And there's not many people, many centers who focus on that, because it's all about the lotion and potions, selling the biggest new technology, the biggest and newest treatment. But that's not necessarily what's going to give them the long-term output and goals that they need.
It's really, I mean, you absolutely can see your passion for the brand and the services you provide come through, which, I think is just commendable. In some of your literature, you state GLO30 is affordable, it's approachable, and it's accessible. And you mentioned for the rest of us, which, I absolutely can appreciate. Having been to several med spas over my adult years, you can get into thousands of dollars, and you go in there for one service, and then another service that's maybe another $1,200 treatment is recommended to you. So at the end of the day, I mean, you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just over several or a handful of treatments at med spas. Um, so we are focused on non-invasive treatments and a routine basis every 30 days. So that therein lies one of the very attractive attributes of your business model, the membership base, which from an investor standpoint is phenomenal. I work with a lot of clients that liked recurring revenue business models, where you can project those, the next month or two or what have you. But another very important attribute of your business model is the proprietary technology that you have named Gloria, which I think is just, I love it. So can you introduce us to Gloria and perhaps what she does?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that happened at GLO30 happened because we are operators, right? We started a business in terms of, like, my first esthetician that I ever hired is still with me. And my first nurse I ever hired is still with me, my second esthetician. So we all got in there and said, okay, like, we're going to make people like want to come every 30 days and make their skin better. So we had like this passion and drive to deliver these results. We were this like store in Bethesda, Maryland, and we were a 1-unit store at that point. And we signed up people and telling them that, we're going to improve the quality of your skin. And so what I used to do back in the day is that I would see all our members. This is when we were really small and growing very fast. And this is how Gloria came about. I would see all the members about every 3 months, and I would like look through a scanner, which was pretty older technology now, and we would look at how their skin is performing. I would give them recommendations, whether it was their, like, oh, we're going to focus the facial this way for you for the next 2, 3 months, or whether it was we were going to introduce this product to you, and then we would get feedback from them, and then we would continue curating and curating and curating and hyper focused. But as GLO30 grew, we couldn't see everybody, right? We couldn't have that interaction with me all the time. So at the same time, technology was growing, and I always looked at skincare as a very technology-based business because that's something that most people were not utilizing or understanding to utilize. And I'm not coming from a typical skincare background. I am an anesthesiologist. I like numbers. I like measurements. I like predictability. I came from a very different background. So I said, you know, why don't we utilize some of that new technology? So we got busy creating what we call, who everybody knows as Gloria. She is an AI-based system in our stores who scans our members' skin, gives them optimal recommendations based on their skin and based on what's happening in real time. So not only does she work hand in hand with the members, but she also works hand in hand with our estheticians to give them guidance on, yes, this is the facial, but we are seeing pigmentation on this side. We are seeing hydration issues here. We are seeing optimization here from last month. So let's really hone in. And she can then guide and hyper focus treatments and services and products so that the members understand that now not only is a person, like an amazing provider of GLO30, working with them, but there's a technology component also working alongside and partnering with them to give them optimal results and optimal feedback.
In all my experience, I have never been to a med spa or any skincare facility where they have done that on a regular basis. In a snapshot in time, in a med spa, I've gone in and they've shown me like kind of, well, your X age, and this is what your skin age is based upon pigmentation and so forth. But that would be such a valuable service to me as somebody that does appreciate taking care of my skin, to be able to hone in and have that guidance. So I love that you have that technology for your locations. Dr. Lamba, you mentioned estheticians. So let's take a minute and talk about what the employee landscape looks like for a single location. And well, actually, let's focus on what it looks like for 3 locations, because this is a opportunity, GLO30 franchise opportunity. It does require a minimum of 3 locations. You are looking for multi-unit investors. So from a 3 location standpoint, what does that employee landscape look like?
Yeah, basically the concept of the 3 locations was really brought about because of what you said were our 3 pillars when we started back in 2012: approachable, accessible, affordable. In order to be accessible, a concept can't and shouldn't just exist in one space. They really need to be where people are able to access your studios in a vicinity of their lifestyle. So kind of think of a triangle and then think, okay, well, I can go to this GLO30, this GLO30, this GLO30. Kind of like when you go to Starbucks. It makes it so much more easier when you find them in your locations, whether you're on that side of the city, or whether you're on the other side of the city. So that's really important in part of the accessibility. And the approachability is really the services in terms of how intimidating the services are, but also your staff. The staff has to be approachable. Gloria is approachable. She's not there to judge you. She's there to guide you. A lot of times when I also had those scans done that you have, I felt very judged in that moment. Like it was a judging session of selling me more stuff. Gloria is not selling you stuff. She's giving you information, and information is power. Our studios are run by GMs, and then you would have estheticians who would do aesthetic level treatments, which we call the Fresh Glow treatment, which is a membership-based treatment. And they are trained, and I'm very focused on training and hyper focusing them and their expertise. But we take estheticians and we train them on different modalities. And it's really exciting for them because they're learning new stuff all the time. And they are usually full-time estheticians. We like to have people in our centers that are engaged with our clientele, that are engaged with our services, who they can come see every month if they want, or different ones. So they know the familiar faces. We want that familiar, that everybody knows your name feeling in our centers. And then we also have a nursing level, because on that pillar of Fresh Glow, we have what we call our Boost Your Glow services, which are 3 services, which are tighten, tone, and texture. That's what we call the pillars of Glow Zone, a healthy skin. And so there's a injectable service, which is just Botox, wrinkle erasers. And then we have a brightening service for a laser facial. And then we have a proprietary treatment to us called the NanoGlow microinfusion, where we take filler and we microinfuse it throughout the face rather than injecting it. Those are done by our nursing staff. And so each store would have, I would say, once scaled, 1.5 nursing. And so when you have 3, you are able to really grow that out. So.
All right. So, certainly the membership-based model is, I mentioned, a very attractive attribute, the proprietary aspect of this business. Now, you do have multiple revenue streams that you've touched on. So the services is, of course, one revenue stream. But then you do have the retail products. So are those retail products, are they also proprietary to GLO30, or are they certain brands that you have partnered with?
So we have a mix of both, where we have our proprietary brand and tools that we do sell at GLO30, our own product mixture, which was designed to, like, our number one product at GLO30 is our own product. And so one of the first things I did when I developed GLO30 and the facials was to create a back bar. And that back bar was meant to be a certain way, not designed for a luxury facial, but a scientific facial, a smart facial, as we call it. And so from that, we created products and product lines that could retail and help our clients and our members. We do also curate and bring in certain brands depending on the brand's offering of how we feel would be a good fit for our members. We have brought in brands that are considered clean. We have brought in brands that are medical grade. We are always seeing how new brands are developing and how old brands maybe aren't developing. I'm very quick to decide, well, if you come to GLO30, who does so many faces every day, we know what skincare they do at home works and what doesn't, because we are constantly testing it, because our members are giving constant feedback about new brands. Maybe we don't even carry them. Oh, that was there was this, that was that. So we have so much data and information, and that allows us to have power in selecting a brand. So we'll select certain products of brands. Like I always say, like certain brands are really good at like 2-3 products, but certain brands are not so good at a whole skincare line. And so what we do is we just go through that messy situation and do the work and then bring it to our members, because we have a very unique situation where our members, I mean, I have members in Bethesda who have been members for 10 years with GLO30, like a lot.
Incredible.
And so those members, like, they will let you know when things work and they don't. It's amazing. You are actually going to be, oh, that, serum promised me XYZs and it didn't work. And then we really think about that. So it allows us to be such better at product selection. We're really good at it because we have so much market research that's real. That's real. And so we have our own brand, which is very strong at GLO30, which I would say is the strongest at Glow. And then we have curated brands that we bring in.
All right. So at GLO30, you have been in business from a corporate standpoint since 2012 and 5 corporate locations and one even being in an Amazon headquarters, which is quite cool. How did that come about?
Like everything, it came about because of a member. When you grow something so cool as GLO30, this membership concept, it's not just, remember, we didn't come in thinking, oh, membership's a great concept. It's recurring revenue. We should definitely do that. We came in because we wanted to make a difference in people's life, skin, confidence, how they felt about themselves. And along with that comes this cultural vibe in your stores. And our members, like I said, have been with us for 10 years, in some stores, 5 years, 6 years, depending on when the store got it, or even a year. And um, they are just so geared towards caring about the store. So one of our members was with Amazon and like a and said to Amazon, they were building out part of the team and said, we really think GLO30's offerings would be amazing for the Amazon headquarters employees, but more importantly, for that community specifically, because Amazon was very focused on bringing businesses that were community focused as well and would have offerings that the employees would enjoy and want. So that was a vetted process. It was a lot of businesses who wanted to be in the Amazon headquarters. So our name got tossed in the ring. We went through the whole thing with them, the whole dance and show and why a GLO30 would service and XYZ. And they chose a GLO30 to be part of their headquarters. So which means is above us is all of the Amazon headquarter building and below is curated retail. And we are part of that curated retail offering for their employees. And so I think the first day or there was a week where Amazon was opening their headquarters and they came, one of the employees who does the, reach out to other employees came in and she said, your offerings, and when we put a blurb about GLO30 into our internal newsletters, that was what people were most excited about opening. And that was really exciting to hear because when you're growing a brand, you always remember your brand as that one store, that one unit, that one time, the first members you signed up. And now to see it where people are so ingrained in wanting your store in their cities or in their employee areas or in their communities, that's a true victory for us because the services, but also the messaging is resonating with people.
That is so powerful. And congratulations to you. I mean, what a journey from anesthesiologist to opening a single location to 5 locations. And now, since introducing your franchise opportunity in January of 2023, as you head into January of 2024, you have already grown your base by almost 50 franchise locations, which is incredible growth for your initial year. And I think what's also very powerful is the franchisees that you are attracting. So, for example, um, I have a client in Austin that I've been working with, and they've been just very focused. They love the med spa space. They looked at one brand. That brand ended up not being the right opportunity for them. And I so very much wanted to introduce GLO30 to them. But come to find out, the entire Austin market has already sold out in its initial year. So just give us a quick snapshot of how that came to be.
Yeah. Yes, so a lot of our major cities are being scooped up fast. We are grateful for it not only resonating with the members and the community, but also with amazing partners and franchisees. We had a wonderful franchisee who came out and did a discovery day, and she literally left our lunch, did the discovery day, got to the airport, and said, I'm gonna open multiple units in Austin. Like it wasn't a she was literally at the DC airport and called and said, I don't need any, I'm convinced that this is gonna be super successful and this is a great brand. And she's already a franchisee of another brand. And as she went through the process of site selection and, the franchise process as we guide them through, she decided that she wanted to double down and she wanted to claim more GLO30s for her and to build generational wealth for her family. And she just saw something in our brand and felt that, the scope of what we were doing was larger and she wanted to like secure her areas. And she went in and most of Austin sold because of that. I believe she's at like 9 or 10 units. So yeah, I think what I would say is that, I'm super passionate about my brand, but I'm also super passionate about my franchisees because they're part of me and they're partnering with me to grow something that I so strongly believe in. And so we are very touch based. We're very much touch point, like talking to them, guiding them. We have a process, we have a way of doing things. I value them in the same way that I value the members because they are a key component of bringing this amazing experience to their cities. And they're so um, engaged. Yes, it's a great field, but it's really exciting to get franchisees who also share your vision.
Absolutely. So, in closing, Dr. Lamba, I was doing a little research on you and I ran across a article that you were featured in by Authority magazine, and it was talking about the article was focused on women founders.
Mhm.
And there was one very, very many powerful statements and parts of the article, but one thing that I did want to take a moment to highlight is you were asked a question. What are the myths that you would like to dispel about being a founder? Can you explain what you mean? And your response to that question was that as a founder, I am my own boss. So that was the myth. And you went on to say, I have many bosses, my amazing team, hardworking employees, and all the GLO30 members. I work for them every day. And to me, I mean, I read that, it was powerful in the moment, but listening to you on this podcast, I mean, I would say this will stick with me because you are so passionate about your brand. You are so focused on success. Your background as a medical professional just lends itself so beautifully to, the medical side of this, and you focus on the numbers and the growth. And at the end of the day, making sure your customers are happy. So, with that said, I am so excited. I have a client that I just introduced to the brand that is located in Long Island, and I truly hope to bring you many others in the future.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. For anybody that is interested in learning more about the GLO30 franchise opportunity, please feel free to reach out to me at stacy@fusionfranchising.com. Thanks and have a great day.